Good evening, everyone. Welcome. CPL Action Season 6. Oh, we got some mic issues here. Let me check that quickly. Yeah, now this is gonna be much more better. Shouldn't be any more problems. Hopefully, there's a new setup. CPL Action Season 6. Pancernicy versus Formacja Pancerna Grom. PL versus Grom. Ruinberg War. Let's see how guys are gonna sort that out. We've got a new setup. As you can clearly see, I got some nice additions for this games, for the setups, for these streams. We are streaming with 60 seconds delay from hardware side plus whatever Twitch puts on top of that. And let's check the rosters of both teams. PL, Marionetka, Defender, Artek, T32, zbyt mocny, 50TP, Prototyp, Sosik, Tiger 2, Avidex, Nomad, Grom, Ramireos, King Dragon, T32, Sinzan, 50TP, and Leonin and AMX, 51. Tankers are ready for the battle. Let's see how this will work that out. Grom does waiting any single second to set up the spot, but they are taking their shortest path and going forward to attack the enemies. I have to just to say additional thing that this map has been adjusted in the latest patch, so we can see that the flag has been moved to different spot, to different place. It makes the attacker job easier than it used to be before, because defenders had an outstanding maneuvers here on that side. Now the base is here. Lots of shots fired, not much damage done. So far, we've got some beat now. They managed to finish the most significantly 1 point from them already. Time is ticking. Shots are fired sides now. Let's check this out, guys. Sosik, Tiger 2 in the behind. It was a great Sosik. Nice man. Great shot. Yeah, that was an unlucky game for Ramireos in that King Dragon. He was quickly finished as he went as a first tank, was focused, 6 shots, died from 4. But let's get them a bit change. Maybe they were much more better prepared for defense and they will show us some kind of perfect defense. They won them tanks and they can still win that game. guys. Yeah, guys are switched. We are sorted. And let's sort out our scene as well. Yep, because the Grom is now on the left. Grom is defending and PL is pushing on. We're waiting for Bitmostly to pick up the tank. Unfortunately for Grom, 1 point is not much. Even if they will manage to win that with that 1 point, this is much for the finishing score. Only one toward whole season is not much. But let's see what Panzer and Lisi prepared for attack. Maybe they won't be able to destroy any tanks, and Grom is gonna take the win home. If not, Panzer and Lisi, if Panzer and Lisi will destroy at least one tank, they're gonna take that, and if they will destroy two tanks, they're gonna take that match home and gain 3 points they lost for gross misconduct last week. Yep, Gromronin, Yazi, Junek, Defender, Graba, T32, Sebzav, 50 TV prototype, Ramirez, Hero IMX M449, White Panther, Nise, Marinetka, Defender, Artec T32, Soshiki, Milwans, but mostly 50 TV prototype, and Happy. There was some changes, no more mediums, the fast tanks are outloaders. One by one, outloaders here. And suggesting gonna quickly switch here for Happy. I thought that I was gonna come back, but he said, wow, he gets promoted. It shows that he's still on reload. It looks like there's some kind of look for. Yeah, he just loaded. He's got a good position here. I think. Yep, they're pushing him. He managed to trade some shots. Not much, and they're pushing him. But this is a good situation for Panzer. They can force attack now because the Avis is he need to withdraw. But this is also great situation for Grom. If Ramirez is gonna go after HP, if he's gonna finish him and get on the back of them, he may just close them and fire now. Get back, he's supposed to get and finish him and get Panzer and Listen to fire. But Panzer and Listen seems lost, and they went very high. Time is ticking, not much damage done. They're trying to grab the attack from that side. After the changes on this map, this is gonna be really, really interesting. Have it here in open. Looking for his position to shoot. He can't go on a better spot because he decided to go. And he is going strong. Trying to go to the slowly Marinetka has been soaked out of damage, only 482 HP left, but Artek is nearly on the base, and they can still, yes, there is a cap pressure, just why he's going so far away, just stay gently on that defense, no, he's supposed to keep that pressure on, just get a little bit in the front and keep that pressure on, yes, that's exactly what he's supposed to do, still there's a chance just to capture the flag by one time here. Now it's been mostly got some damage to him. Not exactly the perfect situation, not exactly the perfect protection. Marinetka can't be used too much here. But Grom will be forced to go and attack Artek now. So it's not like the Grom is in a perfect situation because only 1 and 50 seconds to capture the base while 90 seconds to finish up the match. And we can clearly see Soshik is looking for his place here. Spotted. Yes, there was a pressure. 30 seconds. He had that chance, but he moved back. Mistake by Artek now. He was in the perfect position and he did a mistake now. Don't let yourself wait. No, this is a risky what they are going to take. Just wait that game. You can see 19 seconds, 18 seconds, 17 seconds, and Soshik dropped it. That's it. Don't have much pressure on that mistake by Artek. This could be sorted way much more different. Abid is not using the full capabilities of the Outlaws, but still, Pantelis managed to destroy Krabe after Abireus. So that's 2 points for them, and they're taking the win on that match. Definitely 2-1 for Pantelis already. They are still soaking up. Junek now in defender. Seems like defender. Isn't the perfect choice recently. People learned how to use a tank, and this 3 points for Panther Nalisi. Why they can still grab the 5 points if they will manage to retain that. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, go. They will. They manage. They captured the base, and they are getting 5 points for that. So that's 5-1 for Panther Nalisi. That was outstanding situation here. I thought that Grom is gonna stay really strong here and do not allow enemies to get any points at all. But unfortunately for them, not only Panzensi managed to say 3 times, but they managed to capture the base and get 5 points for that. We're gonna, in the meantime, switch to the next game. BWP2 versus Brutal.pl. Well played for both teams. Panzer and Lissi seems strong tonight. They managed to take their win. They've put themselves together after last week. Seems like they can still do something. That was unfortunate for them. I understand some mistakes happened down there, some miscommunication. I don't know why Ramirez decided to fall back when he was on a perfect position just to outflank the enemies. Still, maybe that was the call, and it seems like it wasn't a perfect decision to be made. Sorting out the guys in the room. And we will update scores of the games on live. This is it. The scores updated. We can jump to the next game. Next game, Born to be Wild and Party Academy versus Brutal.pl. This is the closest game. 5 minutes to start. Next one will be at 21 BST, 9 p.m. BST. So we will have about 22 to 25 minutes break between the games. This next one is Explain against 1G, and this one's gonna be happen on NA server. So we're gonna switch server as well in the meantime. And the last game, another 20 minutes break at 9:40 p.m. BST. Lone United versus Black Devils of First Panzer Division. So we got a 3 hot games tonight. BWP, they are fighting really hard for their position against the underdog Brutal.pl. this is gonna be definitely interesting. We can clearly see all of the teams are learning the map from straight on. This is not something they were prepared. They everyone knew for 3 years that the base was on AF 910 here 90, while now it has been moved to the northeast side of the map, just behind the ruins of the church. And this is absolutely different type of gameplay for both teams. You gotta pick up different style of defense. You gotta pick up different style of attack, especially when you got only 5 minutes for your round to grab the points. What is also worth to mention tonight. This is changes that we're gonna provide for next week, for next season, and we're gonna start introduce them in off season just when we finish this one. One of the important stuff we're going to work on. I'm gonna do some switching here. Yeah, War Daddy joined us. Oh, that's great. Yes, War Daddy is here. I'm gonna invite him. He's gonna join me on the commentary side of the stuff. Good evening, my mate. Good evening, my mate. How are you doing? Oh, not too bad, not too bad. First game behind us. You can come back to the room. We're gonna start the next one in 2 minutes, so we should see some serious action here. Yeah, sometimes the work is something that we have no influence on. Okay, we're waiting for BWP2. So, 3 more matches before us. I started to mention that we've got a new live stream setup. We can see the schedule, we can see team logo, CPL logo. I'm trying to put my hands on some advanced software so we can tune in it to the very professional, like kind of live stream studio. Yep, Panzernalis PL was playing against Grom. They managed to win 5-1. They've captured the base, so that was well played by them. We're waiting for BLP. This map changed. Players were used to the bases on EF on Winberg War. On the EF 90, but now it's on a not web just behind the ruin of the church, and clearly players are not used to what's going on that map on a assault game mode now. So this is interesting to see. There was some mistakes in the last game, which could change the tide of the battle, or decisions that we made that seemed for the Grom that would be beneficial, but definitely they weren't. From my point of view, it was better to do what they were trying to do, but they decided to switch their tactics and allowed that. With that, they allow Panzer and Elise to capture the base, and they lost 5-1. Yeah, so even after last week incident, Pantanalisi took out, like rise out like a phoenix from the ashes, like last week did 1G. So I wonder what's gonna happen tonight with BWP2 and Brutal PL. Yeah, but and they are nearly on time, and BWP2 is missing one player. Oh yes, definitely. We've got some nice stuff happening, and this is gonna be some serious stuff, and all these points matters for the teams. So this is also important stuff. Oh. Tonight we've got X-Pain and 1G and Leonie and B and 1DP. After that game, so we got 3 more mates. Nocap is not playing because the last game I think they had was with the team that forfeit the league. So let's see. BWP looks like BWP is playing 1 down. They're ready, so let's roll out. Hopefully this is gonna work as we predicted. Oh, who do you think has got a better chance, Underdog or BWP2?
I think BW2.
I think BW2. Oh, they are only 4 players playing.
I do. I think BW. Well, they're short. I think that they had a much better chance.
Oh, if they would be full team.
I just like some of the things that I've seen from them. So I think that being the underdog like they are now with one short player, I think is really just going to try to kind of end it for them right here.
Let's see the roster.
But you never know. We've seen stranger things.
BWP, Rudy, ISP, Simon, Benek, VK 101B, while they are down 1 player, so that means straight on 1 point for Topper and Mirhian, Sevka, Opiek, to you, Tinsu, different to Jiki 53, DP, and Fabian, MX for 49. This is getting interesting. You know, on that case, Brew doesn't even have to do much because they already got 1 point. Every single time they will manage to destroy the attack, there is additional point, or of course they can capture the second. Interesting idea to sort out the defense. So far everyone was setting the tanks very close to the town, around A5, 6, sometimes 7, but BWP decided to sort out their defense the northeast corner of the map. I wonder if this is gonna.
They're very tucked in back.
I wonder if this is gonna help them.
I worry that they're not gonna have enough ground to hold them. They're gonna allow them to push right into them, and then they're gonna be, and BRU they're going to be able to, like I said, they're gonna push right in, and then they're gonna have a place to hide right there on the base. I think that they should have maybe pushed a little bit farther forward instead of backwards.
And this is it. There's a cap pressure, so Fabian and Tinsur on the base. Now BWP must get out of the cover. Simon pushing in T32. I don't understand that tactic. T32 is the tank that should be going as the last one here, while Benek's supposed to go first.
Yeah.
What a mistake by Simon. Now Fabian with Tinsur yet, and with a cap pushing. Yeah, now what I said, Benek is bouncing shot after shot. He got some damage now. Selka got some damage in the pushing, very able to push him. Oh, Benek on a massive focus. They managed to finish with a wave, but that's another point. This focus helped them, so Benek not. As I said, Rudy is so far with 1500 HP. To Poduszek in the middle of the fight. Oh, that went on Jack. Bierchitz pushing in. Bierchitz managed to finish him off nicely. Now they are going after Rudy alone. He's full HP, but he can't do anything about it. And he missed that shot. Can't believe it. Such a idea.
Yeah, it kind of went exactly how we thought it would right there. Short-handed makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hopefully for them, they will manage to grab up the last player. They still got a moment, so maybe they will be lucky. Yeah, and they got the fifth player, so still they can at least tie that.
Yeah. Yeah, we played on this map a bunch earlier this week, just checking it out, just kind of looking, doing a little practicing with some of the other team, and we really liked the spawn. We thought it was going to create a quick matches this weekend for everybody. Didn't think anybody was going to go to the end of it. We figured everybody would be done within 3 minutes.
Oh, we're waiting for Merv pack. And PWP 2 in a full team. Oh, switching tanks. They don't have much time left. Yep, he is. Yes, Sean is co-casting as well. Yet tonight, Sean is with me. He didn't manage to get on the first match, but he's here, so we are here together.
A little surprised that Yazi's coming out. Curious to see how well he's going to do with it this time around.
Oh, definitely they've got something on their minds picking up the tank. So, and like I mentioned, the stream has been delayed, so you cannot anymore count on what you see on the screen.
I think that was a great move by the CPL. I'm really impressed that you took the initiative to make sure that happened.
Let's check the roster. Zwierchy Yazi on defense, Wisełka Obiekt 252, Cinsul T32, Jiggy 53, TP, and Fabian Heavy Metal Hero AMXM 449, while BWP Benek Atomic, Simon S3, W6, after time, back to game on how Brutus Bell is gonna sort out the defense.
I'm a little surprised nobody's covering a little farther down the A line, like the A7, A6.
Yeah, but the first game, both teams were covering A7, A6, and A5. Nobody was covering that corner, but now they covered the corner, and they've got some themselves in the open, and the BLP decided to get them in a crossfire. Nice, Benek in a quick spot as with the medium, and he put some pressure on them and take them in a crossfire that managed, that allowed IS3 and TP from BWP to get close to the gap. Nice focus on Fabian. Track damage. Now the turret has damaged 543 HP left. Yeah, PWP still got. Oh no, that's a first point for PWP. Now they can still tie that game. what? What? Like I said last week, he would be happy if everyone would die. So this is that PWP2 is gonna die the game with Brew. They did some serious damage now, and they are doing still chicken in a crossfire, 600 HP left. That really played well for BWP. Don't you think so? That crossfire,
yeah.
They splitting the tanks, not take everyone together, split the tanks, get them from the two flanks. And now check this out, they're going straight on the base, finishing chicken and the pressure. 2 points for them already. Wisełka only 500 HP. But they are pushing for them, they are going for Bro. This is definitely gonna finish with tie. I'm sure about it. There's still a lot of time.
Yeah,
If
I think so.
BWP do not make any massive major mistakes, they definitely gonna tie that. Yep,
So
Zeuka
it's all coming
sorted.
down to this corner.
Now focus on Jitsu. Yeah, so yeah, if BWP would be in a full team on the first gun, that would change the tide of the battle. 4 points, yeah, and this is it. BWP2 going for the tie with the full strength of 5 players. They know what they're doing when playing for 5 players. They were on massive advantage playing 4 players. And this is 5-5.
Oh, nice.
Przegraliśmy bitwę, ale wojnę wygramy.
Did you expect that to happen? I was not so sure it was going to be that one-sided.
Yeah, that was really one-sided. I didn't
The
expect
defense
that
is definitely the easy side of this map.
I thought, like something like the score in the round would be something about 5-3 or whatever, but not 5-0. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, they pushed in aggressive and they just lit them up. They went right for it and didn't let up on them.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. But
I don't know. I kind of felt like they were, they're a good team. They're aggressive, and it's unfortunate they were short the first time through it. But it's nice that honestly that it came out a tie. I mean, it doesn't add or take away a whole lot of points. It's not going to. I think that it's going to help other teams, honestly.
Yeah, definitely is gonna help other teams. So I have to admit that even that it was so one-sided game, if we check up the stats, the accuracy on BWP2 wasn't anything special. Rudy, 10 shots fired, 9 on target, only 4 penetrations. That's really bad. Benek, 15 shots fired, only 9 on shots, and only 5 penetrations. So it's like 33% of shots fired doing damage. 100% Merpak, he managed to shoot 3 times, so he didn't do much. The Bluche quite alright, and Simon, but them 2 players didn't show anything special. How bad it was for Brew this time. Oh yeah, definitely it was Brew. It was really bad for them. Yeah, well played here, BWP. So they managed to rise up and tie that game.
About that, they've got to be feeling really, really good about the way that played out. They've got to be proud.
Yeah, we're gonna switch the servers now. We're going back for NA. Yeah, and we will have some serious break now, so we can grab ourselves a coffee, Pepsi, or whatever the hobby likes to, because next game starts in 27 minutes. This is gonna be X-Pain against 1G. So we got some time. Yeah, I'm really wonder how this game is gonna happen. Both of them teams seems like playing really strong. X-Pen is in a very high position, while 1G is recently started to play after some really bad start. Like I would say, even disaster in CPL. Now they're starting to pull the stuff together. Especially after last week defense, playing 4 and doing the perfect defense, that was something outstanding. So this is definitely gonna be interesting. Yeah. I really wonder. I also wonder if 1G even appear, because I got some noise about that they are taking part in that Russian tournament as well. So I wonder if they will manage to pull out enough players to play tonight. Oh yeah, definitely. They did really a lot of the mistakes. Oh, what's going on here? Couldn't connect to the nice server. Seems like the first connection after a switch doesn't work. The next one goes normally without any issue. Oh yeah. Let's sort out the room and let's check how the stuff is looking out now after that game. After that tie, it became really interesting. BWP2 after that tie is on a 5th place, and the Brutal PL is on 6th place after the tie, and they got the exact same amount of points. So both with 26 points. The only difference is the score difference. To the four big scores less on Brutal side. Interesting. Panzernalisi managed to advance to 8th position after that win. So that was that went really well for Panzernalisi, while Grom has been dropped on a last spot in the league. So we can see some serious changes. Every single game now matters for every single team, you know. So this is important. Every small game may change your place in the league rankings. So this is important to win every single game now. Yep, yeah, something like that. Yeah, we are around that. Yep, next match is X-Pain against 1G. You're supposed to see that on the screen. It's 9 p.m. Yeah, exactly. Welcome AlphaSep on the stream. Welcome Agnes and everyone else who's watching us. We are already in the room. We're just discussing the positions. X-Pain is on a 3rd place with 30 points currently, while 1G is on a 10th position. So they're not in a comfy spot. They're not qualified for any prized spots, which is also worth to mention that CPL Season 6 got the biggest prize pool from every single tournament that happened so far for World of Tanks on consoles. Over $1,200 worth of prizes. Top 8 teams getting prizes, so plus MVP, plus fan favorite player MVP. So this is like a massive amount of premium stuff for our participants. Plus, we did some giveaways, and we are going to carry on some giveaways, most probably from next week again. So it's also worth to watch us, and this is interesting what's happening here. If that game that's coming, X-Pain versus 1G, if X-Pain is gonna win that, if they're gonna take that win, this is gonna move them to the second position, second spot. So this is interesting for them. X-Pain is definitely starving for that win. But if they are not gonna win, it's not gonna change their position. But this is gonna move 1G from 10th spot up to 8, and they will drop down PL Pantanisi from 8 to 9. So it's like every single game matters here. 1G are 10. The 1G are 10. They are on 10 while Leonie are on 9, and both of them teams got 21 points. So both of them teams desperately needs the win. And both the teams, if they win, they will drop the 8th place down and go to the 8th position. So it's important. If 1G wins, Leoni must win with a great score, so they can drop them down from the 8th position and get themselves up to the prized spot.
I think Leone's gonna really start showing their colors here soon. I think they're really gonna start showing what the world they're made of. They are one hell of a team. They're a bunch of good guys.
Yeah, definitely. Guys on Twitch chat are saying that if you could turn up your mic a bit, tiny bit more, so you could be much more better here on the stream, because they're saying you are a bit too quiet.
Okay, is that any better right there?
Hopefully, yes. Guys, how it is now? I hear you really well. Yeah, it's just about the viewers. Yeah.
Well, I've got it adjusted a little bit. Hopefully that'll take care of it.
Yeah. Oh, we still got 19 minutes till next game. Yeah, we can clearly grab the coffee, go for a cig, or for whatever who is doing what. I cannot say, let's say, go for a whiskey. Alpha silent, that means you can't hear him at all, or he's just not loud enough.
Alpha's in here?
He's on a Twitch chat.
Okay. Let me change it again.
It's like it seems a bit like let me give me a second. I think I've got an idea.
Alright, so I've got it turned up quite a bit more.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna do some adjustment as well here. Yeah, this should work now. Try to say something.
Okay, well, maybe it's too high now? We'll find out.
Ryle said that he sounds like you are muffled. I did some.
That's probably
I did
just
some
the
small
way I
adjustment
talk.
over here, so maybe this is different issue, and I believe it may be, but maybe that the setup on your party chat allow setting out your voice. I'm sure you got your voice sorted out on that you allowed it to be shared on the streams.
Well, I haven't really changed much for settings or anything. I'm trying to use a pretty good microphone.
Hopefully now it changed now. I can hear you now. I can hear you clear. Yeah, and nice. So it's difficult to say. I can try to get some additional point of view here. And I'm gonna try to not get any mistakes. Let me see how this is gonna work. So Yeah, much better, mate. Much better. Now it works. Now it works. Okay, we are sorted.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear it.
We are sorted. So yeah, point for us now. So let's get a quick chat. As I was talking about that, we got the best prices in World of Tanks on consoles so far since all the tournament started. We are the oldest and most experienced league for PS4, and we've got a special format 5v5 that goes like a simple competitive game, typical pro esports game from any pro esports scene as well. And now we're gonna introduce some changes for off season so we can test them before next season. I mentioned it on purpose. I've recently seen interesting post from GCL, which finished last week. I don't know if you reckon 1TP took a second spot, if I remember well. In GCL, they just gave up. They just gave up like to which guy? UXP. Yeah, I think they've lost to UXP in a tight match. And BWP managed to take the third spot, so this is a great position as well. And what I mentioned, I've seen the post from GCL, and that post was stating something really bad. Although this post was in a, this seemed like someone frauded it to the Google Translate or something. It wasn't in German, it was in Polish, but was posted by someone from the German community, from admins. And it was stating something that was absolutely untrue, because GCL stated that they are running GCL from 3 years, which is absolutely bullshit, because they started to run the first season in July 2K17, so they are not even 2 years old. So like a lot of the stuff that was like manipulating information, you know. And I think this is kind of a way they are trying to promote themselves. Which therefore isn't anything good to do. If you plan on something really professional and well paid, you do not state false stuff on promotion of your tournament. How can you put any trust in someone who's telling you stuff that is not true, you know, from the very beginning? Hopefully, it's like a mistake, and the stuff has been put into the translator. Still, someone's supposed to clean that stuff out, because this is messy and doesn't look like good. It's like creating the stuff that then leads to dramas, like the recent one with Tifu and Face, or with Nick Max and One Hand Thieves. I'm not exactly sure how our scene is on with the recent drama that happens in the pro esports, the biggest teams and the biggest players. So it's worth to mention that if anyone is aspiring to that, supposed to know that bad stuff happened, and players are changing, switching the team, switching orgs, taking out the false crap that was told or written into the public, and this stuff like that post for GCL isn't something good, and that may went and change into the bad situation for them in the future. We still are like 10 minutes up to the game, so we are still quite good, quite good. What I wanted to mention, that for off season, we already had a chat about it. We are going to add banning system for the teams, so they can ban a nation.
So they can do what?
So the team can ban, each team can ban one nation.
Oh, okay. That'll change some things up.
Yeah, and this is only one of the changes planned. I'm slowly reviewing all the changes and trying to put them on here. So in the future, when stuff is gonna happen, and it's gonna happen, definitely, bad things are gonna happen. It's not like everything will be perfect and great here, and we can clearly see that. So I mentioned it especially now on the lives with the days, saving the videos, because stuff's gonna happen. There is some tensions going on.
So if you were to guess right now of a banned nation, which one do you think it would be?
Oh no, it's like you can ban one nation before every match. You know what I mean? So it's like you can ban now. Let's say.
Oh, so differently every match. Okay.
Every single match, every single team is like one team. Let's say now we got X-Pain versus 1G. So X-Pain can ban one nation, and then 1G can ban one nation, and from rest of the nations they can pick up the tanks, yeah, as usual.
Nice. That would really encourage people to be practicing in multiple nations. I mean, that would be great.
That's definitely gonna finish one-trick ponies that are already in the game now. You know, we got like it's less visible here on CPL. Players clearly, very clearly, got much more tanks. They're using much more tanks, so they got much more skills than players that are playing in an old format, where everyone is picking only 3-4 tanks, and everyone is learning one tank to perfection, and that's it. So they are like one-trick pony, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I love this format. I love the way that this entire tournament has gone and grown. A little bit of rule change here and there to accommodate the needs and when you find things.
This is what happens when you're using them.
I just really like that it's not all IS3 running, and it's a really nice change.
Now imagine that one team ban Russian tanks. So there's no more IS3, no more defenders, you know what I mean? Nothing based on that. So every single tank from that is banned. So you cannot perfect only one tank, because that's how it looks like. You know, every player's got one tank that he go to the perfection, yeah, and this is only one. They are one-trick ponies. But when they are forced to play anything else, no skill. You know, that skill or that awareness going very, 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 very low level. You know, so it's like now they will need to show the skills that are proper, because you never know what kind of nation will ban. You do not know that. Every single game, every single match, you know, match day for that team may make a massive difference for that. Another addition, change that I want to mention is that we will start doing on the off-season. Part of that, we're gonna change a bit format, because now we're playing one map for a team, for one match day. What I would like to do is to move it as well, like with that change with the banning, move it like to the other games on esports is doing. Do it best of 3 maps.
Okay.
Stay close with the 5 minutes like we are now. We'll just change the format to that we're not playing one map and that's it, but 3 maps. And
that would definitely make it a little bit more fun.
Close, make much more smaller the map pool. We'll pick up the maps that were looking and they were played best in this season. So we will limit the map pool and allow the teams from that map pool to ban the maps and leave only 3 to play.
I'm interested to see how this is going to work. This ought to be pretty good.
It works in every single other game that you played, so I think it's not a bad idea here as well.
No, it's not a bad idea.
Definitely worth something that's worth to try in a player in an off season, yeah.
Yes. Looks like we're starting to get some players in.
The biggest question is what we're supposed to do with the tank tier for next season. This is the biggest question. Should we stay on the tier 8? Because it's so far still it's the most easy accessible tier from the high tiers.
Well, I honestly would love to see some tier 9 and 10s, but it's one of those things. Tier 10, I mean, obviously, if we have these rules where there's one tank per nation, that prevents people from all running, like IS7s or whatnot, which is great. So I think that your rule set actually opens up going to higher tiers, and at the same time, though, we need to make sure that we have all the players available to play. Not everybody has tier 10s, but I think that we're trying to encourage everybody to grind and push and learn to play all of their tanks all the way to tier 10. So I think that, maybe you could have like challenge weekends or something like that, some sort of, one weekend of every month, where it's a tier 10, you're just throwing something odd in there. I don't know. You know a lot better than I do. I just think that tier 10s are fantastic.
10s, and the only thing that I'm worried about tier 10s, or two things I'm worried. First thing, if all teams that are participating already, if all them teams, the players got enough tier 10 tanks. Because let's say if you got
right,
two tanks tier 10, let's say you got T57 Heavy and IS7, and for your unfortunate situation, both of these nations will be banned, you're out of tanks at all.
Right. Yeah, that could definitely create an issue right off the bat.
Yeah, so this is important situation. So we would need to do that, test that in off season to check if every team is ready for that. Another thing, playing on tier 10 greatly increases the cost of that game. Yeah, because the ammo on tier 10 and is massive, expensive in compared to tier 8.
That's very true. Like I said, a lot of my guys, my experience, don't really worry about that.
So this is gonna increase that cost much more. So this is the question: if teams are able to sustain that kind of gameplay on tier 10.
Yeah, that could run into problems really quick like that. I can see that being an issue.
So yeah, this is like something that we got to test in off season to make sure that everyone can make it work well.
Where are we at on time, Drake?
Yeah, nearly 2 minutes. 1G is slowly getting on. Yep, we can CPO. There is a Yojin, Mushin, Kuter. They're still missing one player. And they are all in the room. So we are on a good path here. Ragnar's graph on Twitch says that instead of banning a nation, just ban a tank from that nation, but it will still allow every single other tank that's on a similar chassis to be played. So it's not exactly what we are looking for.
So how do you plan on doing the testing with any of this during the off season or whatnot? You just going to just stay in contact with everybody and run a bunch of practice tournaments?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Just straight after that, I'm going to I'm gonna kick this guy just before the start. I'm going to prepare with all the teams. We can start to test, yeah, and say every weekend we pick up 4 teams which can play like a test matches. Yeah, so with 4 teams, two matches, yeah, with the new rule set, and see if they are able to sustain that and get their opinion after that. You know what I mean? Because we need to check. This is the best to check is to let the teams play that, and then they say, okay, this works and this doesn't, or this should be tuned, or change this or other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, honestly, you could then ask, your, per tank, how much it cost you. How much did your team just spend on this game? You got 5 players in there. How much did each one of those tanks just lose during that match? So obviously you don't want to be in the millions per round.
Yeah.
Per team. I mean that
that
would definitely get people to not want to participate.
Stuff happened really often when you go, because this is normal that you spam premium ammo in most of the situations, so it was very, very cost effective, especially when players were using autoloaders. They spending hundreds on every single round. Okay, let's start that game. X-Pain versus 1G, X-Pain roster enemy, or WZ132, Dreadfort, IS3, Sharon Fire, VK101P, Alvaro Ruiza, Carnarvon, Babika, Evil Hero AMX, M449, while 1G is Chupacek, WZ132, Mushin T32, Puter, 52 people time, Yosin Platinum, Carnarvon, NPO, Evil Hero AMX, M449, PO was MVP. Last week, let's see if you're gonna show us some awesome skills in AMX and this week as well. Orange spotted. Interesting what's going on here, but that is WZ132 on the defense from X-Pain. That's an interesting choice, but it may be worth to mention that it was a good pick, because 1G got a WZ132 as well, so we can see 2 light tanks in one round, each light tank on separate team. Interesting here. Let's see, Yoshin in Carnarvon.
Yeah, I'm curious if the X-Pain 132 he keeps looking like he's going to engage, and obviously, he shouldn't yet.
And nice shot, Yoshin. Alvaro Ruiza got some damage to him. This is Carnarvon is gonna push just next to him. Let's see how this is gonna work. There is some shooting. Pio got some damage to him from Hamio. WZ132 doing his job. Chupacek is closing to him. Let's see how this is gonna be. Alvaro tried to hit Pio, but it didn't work. Pio missed and Hamio. And there's one tank missing. Where is he? He is Hikuter. Go for the flank. Trying to drag some attention from the enemies and getting a perfect spot to shot tanks that are on a base. Time is ticking, nearly 2 minutes off, and there wasn't much damage done. So it's like 1G has got some tonight. 1G's got looks like they got some feeling like 7v7, and it doesn't work well. 3 minutes left.
It's developing slow.
Yeah, definitely.
Curious to see how much attention this 50 TP is going to draw.
Yeah, I think the most great battles here, where 2 WZ 132s are fighting each other. Yeah, shot by shot. This is interesting.
Right?
Chupacek decided to withdraw. A lot of damage on X-Pain went down on, so 1G slowly dripping out X-Pain from HP. Chupacek took a risk and they missed him, so this will work. Well played, and he got massive damage on him.
It's getting brave. It's getting brave.
Finished. Ay. He took the risk and it wasn't worth it. It didn't went well. Kuter with 1500 HP behind, not doing anything special. He's supposed to take. Oh, now he took some massive damage. So it doesn't work as 1G thought it will. They managed to slowly get a lot of HP from X-Plane, but it's still not enough. No points for 1G yet, and they already lost one tank. Motion in T32 against Enhamio in WZ 132. It may end bad for Motion. Yeah, he got some damage from behind his crossfire. But he managed to get some serious damage on WZ, and yeah, well played focus fire, 1 point for 1G. Well played here. That was worth it. That's definitely worth it. And now they are pushing. They are going for the tanks. Kuter, great focus fire on Kuter here. He got some serious damage on him. Drainford is doing some good stuff here. I don't know why he's waiting. He's supposed to finish him off before they will push him further on. Go, go! Ah, that's late. 2 point for 1G. Drainford was late, and that was a massive mistake. Another point, 3 points for 1G.
Oh,
to tackle both sides. Drainford alone against Pushin and Yojin. They are soaking him up. But there is Alvaro with Canavan behind, so he still got chance. He needs good shot, and no, what a mistake! He's down 4 points for 1G. And they are in a perfect spot. They cannot be defeated now. Alvaro can't do anything. He's supposed just to hide and wait to 7 seconds, 10 seconds, 8 seconds.
Yep.
He's just supposed to wait to not give that kill for 1G anymore. Oh, nice shot! He nearly managed to finish Yohin. And this is 4 points for 1G from that. That was interesting. It started very, very slow and finished in a really good battle.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how it was going to play out, and it was a little bit better match than I was anticipating. The way it started really slow, the way it started to unfold finally, was quite interesting. I like their push at the very end.
Outstanding gameplay by Yoshin here. Alvaro didn't play well either, so. Oh, let's switch the teams. Let's see. This is interesting. 4 points. This is a really good score. Definitely one thing that we're gonna change is like in addition to the viewer chat, we're not gonna allow any artists. Let's switch them sides.
Well, the British heavy tank has sure come to life over the last few months.
Oh yeah.
Really surprised to see it in there. It's
Oh yeah.
I think that last buff it received just kind of brought it to life.
Yeah, it's often used, especially because you cannot pick 5 IS3 chases tanks. Like you cannot pick 2 defenders, 2 IS3s, and let's say Fatherland or whatever else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this forced to pick up the tanks that are from different nations, and definitely, if you want to play that kind of tank, you need some skills. And we could see Pio was playing that MXM 449, and it didn't went well for him. He did really, but and Bison, we can see Bison here. Pio is taking T103. This is definitely gonna be very, very interesting game. X-Plane must destroy all 5 tanks from 1G if they want to win that. Let's see how this is gonna work. 1G, PO, Bison T103, Szczupaty WZ132, Muszyn T32, Kuter, 50 TP prototype, Yosin, Spazin Carnarvon, X-Pain, Alvaro is up, Primo, Victoria, Trin, for ISP and Hamio, T32, A Proto, Shotfire, Carnarvon, and Babika. I think T32, A Proto, outstanding tank is gonna be played first time in a CPL Season 6. I don't remember Rickon saying it before. So this is definitely gonna be very interesting. X-Pain decided to go very aggressive with a lot of firepower, with mobile tanks. They got 5100, they got Primo Victoria, they got T32. So this is gonna be a really interesting game, and 1G with PO on Bison, that's actually to some degree interesting. And this is the tank that was picked first time in the CPL series as well. Marks of excellence on that Bison. Spotted already, but as well, all X-Pain team players spotted. Well, maybe not. I think Babika has been spotted 5100. Shots fired, Kuta got some damage on him. Interesting way to some damage, and nice focus fire on Shera. Shera on fire has been punished for getting into the wild open. 600 HP left for 16, so he just lost 1000 damage in a couple of seconds. A great focus fire from 1G on defense here. He forgot some damage on him as well, and only the Kuta is the only one that lost 400 HP on 1G. X-Pain must destroy every single 1G tank to win that game or capture the base, which definitely is not gonna be easy. I'm using to put that, and he's trying to get close and go there. Both teams see each other clearly. They're trying to push T32, and now T32 got some damage, and he's cannot destroy it, but still he managed to put some damage on Kuter, while tanks are there, they are pushing it, closing into the Yoshi Tbashi. This may really work. Oh, set on fire on massive damage here. Then for the strength to cover Babika. Yeah, they managed to get close there, and Yoshi got some damage on him now. This is a difficult setup, difficult situation what they are doing here, but it may work. It may work. Now when Hamio the fighting Chupatek got some damage, but Chupatek got much more. That wasn't a work trade-off for Chupatek here. So they are trying to get some serious damage on the machine, and now it worked. It's interesting. Still much more damage taken by X-Pain, but they slowly advance close to the base. How does it work? Clearly see the tanks are waiting for that. Need to take a shot. Alvaro is got some serious damage on him, and he's still going forward in that area. I'm not sure if this wordplay this is a good idea, because Primo on the straight ground is not the perfect tank. And this is Chupatek here. No, Primo Victoria didn't do anything about it. Oh, I can't believe it.
Primo didn't even see him coming.
I can't believe it. Well played Chupatek, and he's getting on behind of them, and he feels no, he missed. He got some damage. Babika, that's going really difficult. And now, Shara managed to finish Chupatek before he managed to get to him. Well played here. They got 1 point, but they are absolutely sold out of HP. They only managed to capture the base, and this is not gonna be something easy. Yet they are losing tank after tank. Only 1 point here. Oh, this is not looking good for X-Pain. Still, there is like Hamio that. No, I understand what Hamio is doing. He's got a creep longer, and he's taking. He has second kill, but finished. What a mistake by Hamio. Having a creep on, capturing the base, just wait for the Yoshi to get out and get him and capture the base for 5 points, and it didn't work. Alvaro with 104 trying to push him 30 seconds left. That's definitely not gonna finish well for X-Pain. And another shot missed. Scooter is not moving anymore. Piozetta got some damage on him from Alvaro, but definitely this gun went for 1G.
Zwycięstwo!
4-2. Let's check them stats here. 7 fire, oh, not well played, nothing special from Hemio. The massive mistake here at the very end, he could just capture that base or just soak up that HP from him. Good damage here, although, and we can clearly see 6 shots on target from 11 shot, and this is a well played tank here. Still, that mistake at the very end wasn't anything good for them.
No, it definitely didn't help.
Babika in MX 5100 went really bad here. Prima Victoria didn't show anything special here. Not bad damage on a picture with the team, but didn't work well. Szczupacek nothing special here. He did mistake here. Even with he was so lucky he missed one shot and then he was finished. Outstanding gameplay here again in Carnaval by Jozin Zbazin. He clearly trained a lot in that tank. 2 runs with the top damage. Kuter did his job and didn't die, so done some really small damage. It's really small damage. I think he was shooting from high explosives here, 558 from 3 shots. That's interesting. Mushin T32 didn't well too well, but still survived, and Bison. That was something interesting. He managed to bounce one shot, a lot of damage from 5 shots fired, 8 shots fired, 5 penetrations. So this tank can be clearly used. Instead of fire spree from the Russian nation, you can pick up from defender. You can pick up Bison and play it well and help your team win the game.
Yeah, that turret on the Bison is darn good. You do have to aim in for those weak spots, and if you can keep it hold down, it can put down some damage and it can block some shells.
Yeah, he definitely was in a great spot down there for defense. Yeah, because of bit of defense, and he was doing his job really well.
Yes.
So yeah, that worked well for them, and the 1G grabbed the points. That's changed their situation very, very much. So now Leonie is coming. We got a lot of time before the game, like 20 minutes. But Leonie is coming, and Leonie must win that game if they don't want to keep that bottom spot. Leonie V1 DP now. This is gonna be another very, very interesting game. Let's refresh standings after that game. And exactly as I said, 1G after that winning that game not only jumped to the dropped down the PL, but they've tied the points with TNT, and with advanced points they've jumped over TNT. 1G now on 7th spot and TNT on 8th position after that game. That's really interesting. That's really interesting what happened here. Because, like I said, X-Pain keep up their spot because they were still far away from everyone else, and they didn't fight with them top teams.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change anything for X-Pain. They only allowed the other teams to catch. So now Leonie must win if they want to do something. If Leonie is gonna win with the big points, they're gonna tie with 1G and TNT, and this is only there will be only the question who got more scores. So let's say Leonie needs now like a lot of the keys or a flag capture, because they got only like 13 points in advance. So TNT got 16 points, small points. I'm talking about the kills, yeah. So Lonnie got 13, TNT got 16, and 1G got 21. So even if Lonnie is gonna grab that 5 points for a win, they only can jump to up to 8th spot and drop down TNT and PL even lower. But they definitely, even if they win 5 near, they are not gonna catch to the 1G after that game. So this is going to be much more interesting. Havoc Skipper, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate support. I'm also gonna mention that yes, every support is very appreciated from everyone. Thanks to our Red Dead Redemption 2 viewers, I was able to, thanks to their subs and donations, cheers, I was able to upgrade my 10-year-old laptop to make it possible to stream from it, to delay the stream, to add some proper overlays and stuff like that. So we're going forward. So it's not like I'm gonna eat that soup or anything. Everything goes into the prices or into the upgrade to make all that entertainment better, all that what we're working on better. It's not gonna be spent on the food, guys. So any help is appreciated, any follow, any sub is appreciated. If you got Amazon Prime account, and many of you got, you can connect it with your Twitch account, and you will get a free Twitch Prime sub, and you can always, if you like to, Amazon is a big company. Amazon is a massive company. They got a lot of the money, so that's a free Twitch Prime sub that you can give to any content creator. We will really appreciate if you will drop it for CPL, but if not, no, you can always pick any of other Twitch streamers and just drop that Twitch Prime sub to any other content creator. There's a lot of the ambassadors and a lot of the content contributors on World of Tanks scene, community contributors, which you can support with that sub, and they will be glad to be supported by you. Take the money from Amazon, give them to the content creators, let them do what they are doing the best, let them do their jobs, help them to make these jobs looking much more better. As you can clearly see, thanks to the RDR viewers, our streams are gonna be better and better every single month. So hopefully this takes only a few minutes to connect your Amazon Prime to Twitch. If you don't have Amazon Prime and never had, you can grab yourself a free trial. It will only take a couple minutes and you will get your Twitch free Twitch sub, which you can support us. It doesn't cost anything apart of a few minutes of work. As you can clearly see, this is something that works in toward the community, toward the content that we're creating. So this is not like something that we're gonna spend on toys. Well, let's see, Alon is nearly full team strong in the room already. So there's only one DP that we're waiting for. And still we got like 17 minutes. Yeah, we're always very pleased for every single share about us. If you know anyone who's playing competitively, who's interested in esports and competitive scene on console, just share that link about our live stream, share our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, as you can see here, CPL esports underscore. This is gonna help us really a lot. All that awareness about what we are doing here, how great job these teams are doing. This is the best teams in the whole World of Tanks PS4 console, World of Tanks nice players. This is the best, the most organized teams in whole competitive scene on PS4. This is really important. This is not like players that are random guys. These guys really know their drill. Every single team participating in CPL has got their page on cplesports.novasociety.com. You can see website address on Twitch chat, as our bot is reminding about it every single 10 minutes. So you can just jump down there and check the website, check them teams. They've got their rosters with the players. They got their bios about that down there. Some of their outstanding teams, well organized, with a full professional manner. Check TNT, check Leonie, check PL, check Grom. They really are jumping on to the next level. It's really worth to check them teams. They are the best organized teams in whole competitive community. They are doing outstanding job and their skills are outstanding. It's really difficult to play on that level and keep up that kind of organization around your team. It's not like you can drop off with hundreds of players and have a luck to pick 5 randoms and throw them into the game with another 5 randoms. That's not a random battle. That's a well played and organized CPL esports season 6. That's exactly sixth season of CPL, and we do not count the smaller tournaments that happened between the seasons. So yes, these players know what they are doing. Some of them are more fresh, but they learn quick. They watch us. They suppose you can put your thoughts on our Twitter. You can put your comments here on chat. We're gonna answer them. You can join our Discord and Hin Distributor. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that support. Thank you very much. Yes, again, thank you very much for that. We appreciate every single help. So you can join our Discord with our community, have a chat. We're talking about down there about the games. We're getting your opinions. We're setting up a lot of things, and we have an on the fly live contact with our community, with teams, with team managers, with their players. So this also worth to join us and check what's going on and participate in the discussion. Tonight with me, World Daddy, as a co-caster. Hopefully, after last match, we're gonna get 2 more players. We hope to see Alpha Sef and we hope to see Yojin. If this is gonna be possible, hopefully we see them to join us on a summary about tonight and quick chat about next week. So we are drawing closer and closer to that last part of CPL Week 11. CPL Week 11, 3 games behind us. PL versus Grom. PL won BWP versus Brew. BWP tied with Brew. 5-5 X-Pain versus 1G. X-Pain just lost the game with 1G. And now we are waiting for Leonie versus 1DP. What I already mentioned, 1DP took second. 1DP took second place in TCL, so they are definitely a strong team. They got really great players. They are in a high position, but Leonie recently got like an super power, like they would be drinking a lot of some kind of energy drinks or stuff like that, and they keep their stuff together really well, and they're starting to win game after game. They're playing much better, but they always, it's like they lost a bit of the points on the very beginning of the season, because when they were checking each other, every team was checking each other, and they lost the games with teams that seems like they weren't perfect. But now when they put all themselves together and they know what they want to play and they're playing what they want to play, they encounter top teams the week after week. So this is interesting stuff happening here. We still got 10 minutes, so
Oh, definitely. It's always great to watch and see all the changes.
yeah, I really wonder what's gonna happen tonight in the game. As far as it's not gonna affect in any great way 1DP. Yeah, I got an info from Alpha. He's gonna join, so it's great. We're gonna see him on a summary. It's not gonna affect in some really bad way 1DP. They are on the 4th place, and even if they lose, they are gonna keep that that 4th place. But if Leon is gonna win, that's gonna put them on a 9th or even 8th position. So it's like 1 or 2 places jump on. So for Leoni, it's like be or not to be now.
And they've got a good chance. They've got the fighter's chance going for them. So they're going to throw punches. They're going to show up. So I don't think that this match is over before it started by any means.
Yeah, 1DP gave up last match. They focused all the team and all the resources on GCL. And we do not know if they will appear this week and how strong they will be this week. It's a really massive difference between the old and I would say ancient 7v7 format that GCL is playing and tournaments that Type are playing within the new format that's on CPL. This is aggressive format. You need really to play aggressive. You cannot trade the shots like on the 7v7 and hope to soak up more damage than an enemy. you definitely need to do something important when you're attacking, because every single kill is a single point. And now, when we switch that for best of three, so we will got points from one map, from second map, and from third map. This will be like this. The first thing, we're not gonna see the situation that we've seen in the sixth season, in that main season where we're gonna provide the best rules and the best rule set and all the additions. It will only keep up like a top 8. Every single other teams will have to go for the free tournaments and have a luck that throughout all the time they will be able to get themselves within the qualification runs within the lower type of series for fresh teams, that they will be able to grab themselves a spot for another season. So this is really important for the top 8 teams. They're not only getting all top 8 teams getting prizes, but they will only sort themselves a spots for next season, which will be closed only for them. There won't be like no newcomers anymore. Of course, the team can change the players between the seasons through the off season, but still, this is gonna be only for them teams. Them teams know what they're doing. Them teams are the best, and then teams will definitely be leading whole esports scene on the World of Tanks console. There's a lot of stuff on esports on consoles happening right now. Epic bought Psyonix, so they bought Rocket League. Not only that, Epic decided to buy Overwatch League commissioner, and they did that. So clearly, they got some serious plans. Activision Blizzard doesn't want to stay behind and decided to show us new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which Call of Duty is the biggest, apart of the Rocket League and Fortnite, is the biggest esports title on PS4. So they now said that they are going to bring the new title with the full crossplay, which is interesting really, and they are already changing their league into the franchise. They are ages, light years ahead of everyone else. So this is interesting stuff happening here. There's still time to grab a bit of that cape, and hopefully with our co-op with Wargaming, we will be able to sort out something. Every single week, I'm checking Wargaming board with a hope that there will be a job, a sports manager, and I will be able to apply for that, and we will put it to the highest level, because we know that Wargaming can do that. They got the in-house client that's working on a crossplay. So if we will be able to sort ourselves with the Xbox community, like an example, they've got Wednesday night fights. They got WCL. If they could sort out and inherit our format, and let's say the winner of the season from PS4 and the winner of the season from Xbox could meet on a LAN on an in-house client from Wargaming and battle for some serious prizes. That would put out the esports in World of Tanks console on the most professional level that it can be possible.
That would be great to watch. I would love to see something like that.
It is possible, and as we know, every year Wargaming is coming to the Tank Fest, so it would allow 10 players, 5 from each team, from 5 from PS4, 5 from Xbox, to meet with community contributors, ambassadors, and other supporters with wargaming stuff on finals, 5 versus 5, who's the best team in the world, also on the LAN, within in-house client, in a controlled LAN environment, 5v5 on a special format live stream. That would do something massive. There's a lot of stuff that can be done here. We just need a bit more love from wargaming to happen.
We just got to keep pushing. We got to share everything. Everybody that's watching needs to share and help it
Yeah,
grow.
we definitely need to. If you can do anything, we just help ask you if you want to help. We'll ask you, please share with everyone the video, share with everyone the clips, share. Tell them that we are live streaming. Tell them we're playing. Tell them we're here. Leon is definitely here in the room. They have full team from quite some time. We still got time, like 5 minutes, but we are waiting for 1DP. They are not showing in. Still got time, but time is ticking. Do you think they will be able to? No, of course, like I said, they're not gonna lose the position even if they. No, they're getting in. Yep. So this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. Hopefully, if everything goes well, next week in that time between the games, we'll be able to introduce the boards with updated scores here as well. Hopefully, this is gonna work. Yeah, good luck for both teams, of course. Good luck for both. Um, we support everyone who is supporting us. We support every participant of CPL, every viewer. We are with you. We love you. We love the teams. We love what we are doing. I'm not playing actively too much in World of Tanks, but I am active within the organization. I love to do that. I love the stuff. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing that for you. And every single support from every single person is greatly appreciated.
We're happy to be here. I think that everybody's really enjoying all this. I know we've all been sharing it, and my team's been sharing it and pushing it on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook, and not just nonstop.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more teams learning about that media stuff. They will inherit all that good habits that TNT and Leoni already got. They are leading that stuff. I can clearly see Grom is trying to catch, PL is trying to catch. BWP is well organized on Facebook, but they are still missing that competitive side, and every single stuff that's competitive happens on Twitter. Hopefully they will join that space as well. They've got definitely the power, they've got that passion, so they may really do that. 1DP nearly full in room, and we nearly before the start of the game. So this is gonna be interesting. Leoni versus 1DP. 1DP, very strong team, second place in GCL, and Leoni, one of the best organized teams, professional NA team, TNT professional NA team. So we got like two full professional NA teams, and 1DP. They've got really great players. So this is definitely gonna see some outstanding score here, and we're gonna see some awesome actions when you're watching, and you see some great stuff. You can always clip it so we can show it later on Twitch. Like last week, we were able to show outstanding gameplay from PO in King Dragon. Let's see. Maybe on the launch side we see some stuff here. Maybe on 1DP we're gonna see some great stuff here. There is also just, and yes, 1DP is in full, like nearly on like with the clock. Yeah. So let's see a few more seconds, and we're heating up, and we're letting them pick up the tanks. Yep, the clock is on. Let them pick up the tanks. Interesting choices by Leoni here. 1 DP, no tanks picked yet. What are they waiting for?
We're gonna have a game here, man. It's gonna be good.
Waiting for CE 599. See only the last player that need to pick up the tank, and we can roll out. Just a few more seconds left. And this is it. We are rolling out. Ruinberg War, last game of the week 11, last match of the week 11, first round, and 1 DP on attack, Leoni on defense, Ruinberg War. Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Predictions? What are your predictions, Jack?
Let me check the rosters as soon as the match load up, and we'll see. So what do we have here? Alpha Sapphire 3, Spartacus T32, Seafox, Emil 1, Gibeb 50 TP, Prototype, and Sam MX 5100, Y1 DPC, Cerber, Perkowski Defender, Mishka T32, Polish War 50 TP Prototype, and Jumper Paul Carnarvon. I think that Leon is in a difficult position here because they do not have any medium or light tank that will counter Cerber, and this may turn really bad for them. I'm gonna say if Leonin doesn't have some kind of special tactic here that with their current tank they can counter that light Cerber, they will be on a massive advantage. So I'm shooting this is gonna finish around 5 to 3 for 1 DP this time. Yeah, the Cerber,
well, I think we're starting to see their special tactic come out right away. I think,
which is even don't see. Look at that. Even don't see and getting damage here. I can't believe what's happening here. Is Seabox not playing on the map on the radar? Yeah, that's what I said. This light tank, if they cannot counter, and now Spartacus got damage from him. If they cannot counter the light tank, they are in a really crappy situation. And we can see Pirkowski slowly getting on a east flank, and now they are gonna close Leoni from every single side. So this is gonna be difficult for them. It's not an easy map to defend now. Quebec tracks damage. Alpha water ricochet. Yes, he invisible trying to punish Spartacus and Seafox. They cannot get the position to shoot because C in Cerber is hidden here, shooting them from the flank. Perkowski took the position and it's closing Spartacus and Seafox. Gibek in middle getting shots from two sides. Yep, this is difficult for Leon now. They're pushing on Alpha here. The Alpha got some damage. He managed to put nice shot on the Jumper. Well played, Jumper. Amrak, the third. His son is gonna finish him. No, Mishka, well played here. Mishka forward, Jumper. He jigs the jack. Well played here. Still, they managed to do some good damage on Jumper here. That was a really great action. We're gonna move here. I know they are shooting, but they're shooting from far away. So even the second damage, good action. But Perkowski is getting in the position where he will be able to flank Alpha and Samsung. Yes, now Perkowski should have Sam Sam is getting damage from behind. This is a difficult situation for Sam now. Alpha got serious damage on him. So this is gonna be really difficult situation for Leonie. Exactly what I said. And Alpha in crossfire from every single side. Polish got some Sam and Alpha in crossfire from three sides. They can't do much here. They do whatever they can, but they can't do. Alpha on the reload shoot from the side, from behind. Same as Sam. They can't do much here. Keep back in the middle. He can get out. He's getting damage. Spartacus is trying to go after. See, like I said, that tank. And now they've lost Alpha. Sam's here alone in 5100. Polish war. Still got around. Still got them. Nice. Sam can do some good stuff here. Oh no, Sam did mistake. Another mistake by Sam. I can't believe it. And on the reload, Sam finished here. I doubt he will be able. Oh! Mistake by Mishka, mistake by Jumper Ball. Sam still can do something. What a bad mistake here. And Mishka managed to hit him up. He won't be able to reload. That's because of there. He's gonna finish him, I think. Yes, Sam cannot finish. Oh, well played. Mishka hold down by Gibek and C-Box. Good game by him. He has been finished by Spartacus. We haven't seen that, but great play, Spartacus. In T32 finishing. Wow, well played, Leonie. Sam got finished in the second. Is he will be able to be high? Mishka on shot, Sam on shot. Who's gonna block them for that first shot? Will they finish? No, they finished Sam. Sipok was on the road and Gibek was occupied by Perkovsky. 2 points for 1 DP already. And this is it. Spartacus has been finished by Perkovsky. Gibek in crossfire here. Sipok finished the finish. Mishka, pardon. This is interesting what's going on here. It's 3-3. Gibek in difficult situation. Oh no, Drachen Gibek got damage. Now one only chance. Sipok must finish Jumper. Nice shot, perfect shot on Jumper here. Now one more shot. Oh, that falls. And the shoot's even done. This is done. Gibek is finishing. Perkovsky finished Gibek now. So this is now Perkovsky against Sipok. Sipok's 183 HP. He must run. He must hide. And this is it. This is 4 points. 4 points for 1 DP. Well played. Both teams. Outstanding gameplay on both sides. Leonie was a bit late. If they would react quicker on that server, like I said, the better counter, that would definitely went into the different situation. We can really see that server did outstanding amount of damage in compared to every single other tank.
That definitely didn't play out the way I thought it was going to. The way that Leonie was pushed ahead of the base right away, it looked like they were just going to attack, and I've seen them do that on their defense. They pushed in and changed the attacking team's rhythm. Leonie's really good at doing that. They're good at making people play their game.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like they just stalled right after, about 10 seconds in. They stalled 15 seconds as to where they were going to go.
Yeah, and that was.
But I'm sure they had a.
That was that they managed, even without any medium or light tank, they managed to adjust and push that T32 for that. I really wish we've seen that fight with Server in T32. When we're going to Somalia, I'm gonna turn on the replay and see that battle with T32 versus Server, because something outstanding happened down there and we missed that battle because the major battle was here in the middle of the map.
Yeah, the Holland Hound was the Holland Hound put down some work, and the was it the Holland Hound? Yeah, it was the Holland Hound that was hidden around the corner there, and it was just too bad that he didn't push around with that Emil and try to just stop that Holland Hound from keep him lit up and preventing anybody else from moving around much.
Yeah, he definitely did outstanding job down there, and like I said, that was the biggest issue with Leonie. They didn't have anything to counter it, anything mobile, you know what I mean, that they could quickly send support with fire, finish him off, and then carry on with what they were doing. And that, what they managed to achieve, is outstanding. Still, more damage done by 1 DP here, and 4 points for them, but they clearly left a bit of space here for Leonie to win here, because if Leonie will manage to capture the base or destroy every single tank, they can take the win for that game. So let's check the rosters. 1 DP again, C on server, Pyrkowski on defender, Myszka keeper 2, Polish War 50 DP first time, and Jumper for Karnapur. They didn't do much changes. Leonie Alpha by SP again, and keeper 2, Seafox keeper 50 DP first time, and some M6100. No, not much changes here as well. This is gonna be interesting. Everything will show us how 1 DP is gonna set up the defense. We can clearly see how they are going to set up defense, and they got that advantage of server, and this is gonna be a really difficult situation for Leonie. Leonie decided to go from the very south, so they are losing lots of time. They are really losing lots of time while 1 DP's got that saber here that's gonna show the positions, and that's gonna spot them from afar, that is roaming around the map. So as soon as Leonie is gonna get out into the open to get that push, they will be spotted. Yeah, that's what I said. Even that's from so far afar, Server managed to spot already Leonie, and he's moving down there. Yeah, 4 players spotted the last tank that's not found in this Quebec 50 TP that's going on a flank.
Yeah, he's definitely just holding back, waiting for it to develop.
Yeah, waiting for how the situation is going to develop here. He is definitely looking for that 5th tank, right? As you can see, he's going from space to space looking. He spotted. Oh no, he doesn't know he's there. He's going to flank them, and this is gonna be interesting. Oh, he spotted Quebec, and he's going to turn back. Yeah, exactly what I said. He wants to flank them, but Quebec was here. And outstanding shot by Quebec. Oh, massive damage on T here. That gives some advantage to Leonie now. While the first shots fired from both sides now. Of course, they know the Quebec is there, so there is no more surprise here. The effect of surprise, but definitely he forced that server to fall back. But it's not looking good for Leonie now. They're getting a lot of the damage. They decided to push with T-32 and email through the middle. It may work. I'm not saying it doesn't. It may work. They managed to cover themselves from Carnival or not.
No, well,
but Alpha.
The base has a lot of places to hide, which is really good.
Yeah.
So you can be aggressive and still go hold on.
But there is Quebec really close now here. So this works. Of course, Quebec really bad shot here. He sent a shell on the tracks of Polish War, so that's really bad. Another shot, this time Seafox, and now Spartacus. Oh, lot of bad shots here. Spartacus and Seafox not going strong here with the accuracy.
No, I'd have to agree. It just seemed like they kind of just locked on and pulled the trigger there. I think Seafox had the ability to control that corner there for a moment.
Take a massive, great damage. Well played Saber here. He's trying to punish Sam in MX-5100. He makes sure that Sam is not gonna push too far. Spartacus managed to go on the flag. Just don't push too far. Don't push too far. Capture that flag. Oh, what a mistake! I can't believe it. Seafox not sure what he's doing and staying too far, allowing Server to hit him off. But Quebec, thanks to that, managed to push closer to Server. This may work still. Spartacus in the crossfire. That's it. Spartacus has been done. They managed to finish here. So Quebec is in a good position here. He's in a good position here. He may work this out. Now Seafox only 300 HP, Sam 500, Alpha only 180 HP, Alpha in difficult position. They must go on Quebec. Oh, Leonie is losing that really bad. Seafox has been finished. They managed to do some damage on Pyrkowski, but not enough. Pyrkowski going for Quebec here. That was well played, but it didn't work well because, as I mentioned before, Seafox and Spartacus did a lot of bad shots here. They were just shooting like using auto fire. Well, played shot by Sam here. Pyrkowski got a lot of damage, and this is it.
Nice.
That is it. I can't believe what happened here, but they managed to finish him. Now some got some damage, some difficult station. Trying to put the tank in the best position as they can. Every single shot is important now. Gibek must push. Sam is not gonna manage to reload in time. This is gonna finish with 2 points for them if they not finish Polish. Polish he has already, Polish managed to hit himself from the shot. So that's 2 points for Leoni only. 2 points. But the game definitely was outstanding, and if not that missed and bounce shots from Spartacus and Sipox down there, that would change it completely different. Yeah, Sipox 4 shots fired, 4 on target, 2 penetrations, while Spartacus 6 shots fired, only 3 on target and only 1 penetration. That was a really bad accuracy from here. Alpha, not good here as well, only 6 shots fired, 3 on target, 1 only penetration. Not Sam just last, so Sam didn't shoot a lot, so this is a disappointment. Probably if Sam would put much more shots on the game, this would change really a lot for them. And Gibek did his job. He did what he could. Of course, he could play a bit more aggressively because he had much more HP. I think Gibek did his job. If he would be a bit more quicker, this could change. But of course, we can clearly see that Sipox and Spartacus, even being Crossfire, they still supposed to make sure that if they got that damage on them, they supposed or make sure that every single hit counts, and they didn't.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly where they lost, was just the shots not going where they needed to go. They were putting the shots out. They didn't hold the corner then with the Emil and the T-32. I think that would have been, I think that would have changed the game right there. They just got unlucky. Fox got unlucky with his Emil when he was putting his shots on that defender. He just couldn't track him in time, and then he couldn't get to the lower plate. And any of that defenders, it's hard to get through if you don't aim in.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. I'm gonna try to invite Alpha, and I'm going to try to invite Yojin in the meantime, and I'm going to load that replay to check what happened with that server on that round. Let's first send them invites. Just a nice haul. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate the support. I did send invite to Alpha, and I'm sending the invite to you as well. If you will be able to join, that would be good. Now we understand that.
Hey, Cameron.
Good evening.
Good evening, Alpha.
Good evening.
Oh, give me a second. Maybe Yoshin will answer the invite as well. I did send him, and I will load that reply. In the meantime, I really want to see what happened down there with that server.
Hello, Eugene.
Siema.
Hello, Eugene. Welcome. Good evening. Great that you could join us as well, so we can grab ourselves a quick
Sure, no problem.
Games.
Sure, why not? What do you need to know? Ask away.
Let me check them.
Well, I haven't seen other guy games, so the only game I can tell you a bit about is our game.
Yes, it's still very interesting to see your point of view from that game.
My point of view. Well, we didn't really practice or anything. So pretty much pick tanks maybe 20 minutes before the game, but clearly that map favors heavy tank camping around the cap area, and the whole trick was while defending just to don't lose HP and catch them while they try to progress towards the cap, and that worked out pretty well. On the other hand, when trying to attacking, we try to set up a crossfire, so they couldn't have really a safe spot to camp, and that actually worked out pretty well. The guys were all around the cap, so we had really we were able to shoot from most of their hiding areas, behind the rocks, and while the guys were creating distraction, I was able to sneak, hop from one cover to cover finally towards the cap, and once I got into good position, I mean, I was pretty much well, not game over because we were a little bit short of on time, but it was enough to kill four tanks, and we still had 2 left. With except just time ran out, so it would be nice if we could kill them all, but well, I'll take 4.
Oh,
So that's
yeah. So, what did you thought before the game? How this is gonna end? Because we already have a quick chat about it, and we thought that that game gave you a great jump through the league table. You already are in the 7th position. After being in a very bottom for a long time, now you are in the 7th position with the prize position, and you, after last games, you're clearly going up.
Wróg nas ściąga, żeby zająć to miejsce. Przepędź go!
well, we didn't know what to do because X-Pain is definitely a good team, but actually, for as you might you mentioned, we had problems, with getting ready for games and tactics and all that, so that didn't work for a long time. But I think finally we got to the point where we're getting better, and X-Pain was a really difficult test. So we were hoping for the best. We had tactics more or less ready, so it was all about execution, and we executed better than X-Pain. So it worked in our favor. But I would still say we were thinking it was like 50-50, coming to the game. Well, of course, number 1, but I'm not sure if that's mathematically possible. But well, I'm hoping right. Well, there's always a chance for that, but I don't know. I mean, I think we're hoping for the first, to be in the first 4, at the end of the season. Yeah. Well, we had to give them a head start, so it wouldn't be fun otherwise. Makes it more interesting.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It is actually, because they start to underestimate you, and you just kill it. So.
There were some options here. So yeah, definitely. I wonder what Alpha can say now, because we were watching game really intensive match that jumped on and first round, but something went wrong.
Yeah.
several things went wrong on the second. Like Yojin said, this map was definitely very interesting. Like he said, we felt like the key on attack was to set up a crossfire. The difficult part was where 1DP deployed their tanks definitely made it much more difficult for us to set up any kind of a crossfire. They played a tank which we thought was a possibility, but at the same time, he played very well. He played his tank quite well. Defending, I was happy with how we defended. We were doing very well. The defender for their team made a big difference where he was able to get to. When we were attacking, it just, the way that they positioned their tanks, they put them in a very good spot to stall our ability to get to where we wanted to go. Credit to 1DP for playing better than us. They executed their strategy, and they executed it better than us today.
No, I know what happened. I had on the live replay what Spartak was done in T32 with Serber. Well played here. That worked for your team in the first round, but definitely on the second round, Spartak was in kickoffs, missed so many shots that that was painful to watch the match.
I can't really say much because I know that from where their T32 and their Carniveron were positioned, both Sam and I weren't able to get shots on them, but if I turned to try to get a crossfire on the other tanks, I was stuck. They ended up setting up a better crossfire than us, unfortunately. And that's what made a big difference for Sam and I, is that we just couldn't get enough damage. There at the end, we started to be able to make some progress, but we just ran out of time. And again, credit to 1DP for executing their strategy. This isn't the first time I've faced 1DP. It's not going to be the last, but 1DP is a very good team, and they have a lot of tournament experience. So
yeah, definitely they took the second
they
place
were
in
better
CPL,
today.
so they know what they are doing. But they were a part of that missed shot. That was a really close game. But that lose makes you to keep your team farther and farther from top 8.
Well, it's like Yojin said. We want to make things interesting, and we want to give teams a head start. So,
Right, gotta give them a chance so they don't
Oh
quit.
yeah,
They don't
yeah,
that's a good fair play.
we're just waiting for the last possible moment.
Exactly.
We're just waiting for the last possible moment, and then we're going to turn on the turbo, and we're going to make things interesting. It's just, again, I keep saying it, teams in this season of CPL, very good. You have a lot of experienced teams, and it's a challenge, especially for a new team or a fairly new team. It's a challenge. We look forward to the challenge, and we like the challenge. Each week we learn something and we grow from it. But again, I'm happy that we were able to put up a challenge for 1DP. They just happened to execute better than us today, which is unfortunate.
What are your preparations, guys, for next week?
Next week I have zero preparations because I don't think my team plays.
Your team is off, yeah, but 1G is playing against Grom.
Oh, thanks for. I didn't even know, honestly. I haven't checked it yet. But we're going to take a look at that later on during the week. But so far, no, there are no preparations. You probably will do that, during the week, maybe Friday, Thursday.
Like
So it stays fresh in your memory. It is. We should probably change our name of our team to Last Call, because that's what we do most of the time. Very last moment, but Of course, we know guys from Grom. We know what to expect or what not to expect. So hopefully, it's gonna turn out in our favor.
Yeah, but this is gonna be interesting because this is gonna another be close quarter map. This is gonna be the next week map is Siegfried's line. So this is another interesting map to be played.
Yeah, honestly, I don't like that map very much, but
Neither do I.
we'll see.
But I still
Never
have
like to play that
nightmares
map.
from that map. Yeah, especially on assault mode, but it's very dangerous. It's very tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, no TNT and Leonie is lucky next week. That's a week off for both of the teams, so they can train much more for the following matches. And Alpha, if you are gonna train 2 weeks and lose, that's gonna be something strange. Don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. It'll be very strange. I mean, we've been training more and more. Obviously, the position we've put ourselves in, it'll be very strange if we do that. And my guys know what's at stake, and they know what we have to accomplish. We actually have. It looks like we have weeks off. We have the next 3 weeks off. We don't play again until July 16th.
Yeah.
which is actually going to be against TNT. So we will. We have 3 weeks off, which is good for my players in the sense that we've been going at it 6 weeks in a row against some of the better teams, and we still have yet to get the results we want. But 3 weeks, we should be able to be prepared, and then we have to face TNT, and I think right after TNT, we get to face D, aka Last Call.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. This
So that'll be.
this is like the
So it'll
positions
be
that you are
interesting
fighting
end of the season.
are quite close to each other. You're not going to fight against BWP now, yeah, with their position, because the last game you're gonna play is 1G versus Leonie. So, but before them, you're gonna face PL Pantenerice. So this is gonna be important as well.
Yeah.
Like so, it's not like you're gonna you got like a three interesting wings: TNT versus Leonie, PL versus Leonie, and then 1G versus Leonie. So it's not like you can think that you've just sorted out everything and decide there's 3 more games that gonna be.
Oh no.
You can only get 9 points. So it is not gonna be easy. While 1G, if you check upcoming games, 1G is playing against Grom next week. Then they got the 2 weeks off, and they are coming back to stand against No Cup. Then Prosto Clan is against them, which is gonna be definitely something interesting down there. And at the very end, they are coming after you. So believe me,
Yeah.
I'm sure every single game from like about 2 weeks before is gonna be more and more interesting because every single game matters for every single team if they will get that spot in the top and if they will keep that spot. Yeah, as you can see from all of the teams at this moment, 1G managed to jump over World this team, but if we check for the games, TNT fighting No Cup on 15th. So there is a point to get. Then Prosto Clan, and this is definitely not gonna be easy game. Then Leonie, then BWP2. So I'm gonna say that TNT got still this 1-2 matches more they can gather the points. So this is gonna be interesting. It's only 22 altogether. It's only 22 matches left.
I would say, from my team's perspective, we faced Yojin and several of his players before in a tournament that Leone hosted, and we Absolutely, given the result that they handed to us, we are not going to take them lightly whatsoever. Yojin and Pio are not to be taken lightly at all. TNT, we face them as well, and they're not to be taken lightly. PL, we've never actually faced them, but given our current situation in the standings, they are not going to be taken lightly. We have to get 9 points. We only have a chance for 9 points. We have to get 9 points. It's going to be a challenge because of the teams that we have to get them against, but I mean, my guys are up for it. They're up for the challenge, and we look forward to being able to see what we've
Yeah,
got.
definitely. If we can see Pio in King Dragon, he's not to be taken lightly. But tonight, Pio in AMX M449 didn't play anything special. While tonight, definitely Yojin was MVP of the week. The amount of damage and accuracy on that Carnarvon from Yojin on both runs was outstanding. Yojin, what made you to pick up that tank?
Well, last time when I was grinding Super Conqueror, the that tank, I mean, it was a terrible tank. It was a joke. I mean, it had terrible armor, but there's nothing good about him except for maybe gun depression. But so I haven't played that tank since since he got buffed. But actually, I played recently the tank on PC, and I mean, I was like, damn, that's a really good tank, you know. So I figured, let's try it, in the CPL, and I think that's actually, I think it's actually a good idea to use it. Doesn't have a good alpha, but accuracy, the gun depression, uh, and armor is excellent for T-Ray. So, I think that was, that turned out pretty good.
Oh, definitely. The amount of shots fired and the penetrations on your side was outstanding, and the damage done in both rounds was outstanding. So, from all that play that was here, definitely that was something great. This action could only be like compared to what this T-32 done with the Cerber. But still, the amount of damage on T32 and overall part of that wasn't any special. While you get all around in both runs, so great GG for that for you. That's everyone can see. We show in the stats, and that was clearly visible the amount of stuff you've done that. So, like I said, this is like put the proper player in the proper tank, and did the match change the difference. Like or what we said, the PO shouldn't be taken lightly. Definitely, when he was on King Dragon, he did much more better than tonight when he was playing that
Right.
M449. Are you sure it was a great choice for him?
Yeah.
Was it a good choice, or what made you to put him in that tank?
Right.
Because I'm sure even if he would go straight on, like you only live once in that King Dragon, he would do much more than he did on that M449.
Probably, he did play with King Dragon quite a bit, in random games, so he knows that tank. And French, yeah, we just wanted to take heavy tanks, and he didn't really have anything else, so that's what he took, and he didn't like it at all. And I mean, I can blame you. I don't like to use the tank, because I mean, if you play against, weaker teams, that's a great tank, uh but you see what happens when you try to go hold down in that tank. They out of sudden they pin every shot. So yeah, definitely. I'm not a big fan of that tank.
Tell me one more thing before we start to wrap this stuff up. We were talking, we were having a chat about changes that we would like to introduce in the off season, because we clearly can see that what is ongoing on other leagues, it is in much more or less visible here on CPL, but still it happens is that players are changing themselves into the one-trick ponies, yeah. So like they got one, maybe two tanks that they can play, and that's it. And that's all. And they are always picking one. Maybe the two tanks depends on the situation. Like they got something that they must have to choose in a case that they will play like a very very different map. But that's closing them in 2 tanks. They go for the 2 tanks for the perfection, and if they are forced to play something else, they go really bad. Which clearly means that they are wanting opponents. They are not overall great players. So one of the things is that we are preparing for the playoffs, for the off-season. The change is gonna allow every team to ban a nation before the match.
I think it's a great idea, because as you said, it's gonna pay off to be more flexible, and guys that can just play one type of tank or one tank, will have a really hard time adjusting, and that's actually that will give a chance of, say, more well-rounded or better players, to
Yeah,
shine.
definitely. Because if
Uh,
someone's one trick pony is, and think he's the best player, it doesn't give the clear page. If you can others like what you did, pick up the Carnarvon and roll out on the battlefield and screw everyone out. That clearly shows a lot of skills behind you. So you didn't pick only one IS3 or stuff like that. You know what I mean? But if we pick up, if every team was gonna ban one nation before the match. So let's say they will ban the Soviet and they will ban the USA tanks. That's gonna change the pool of the tanks really a lot. So you will need to learn much more tanks and put your skills to the test here. Not only being I'm exactly know where are my weak spots on the defender, so I can put that tank in every single game on every single map chained. I can put that in the best position. I know what's the weak spots of the tanks. But when you cannot use the defender and you gotta pick something else, you gotta play more and learn more. So you need to show off more skills. What do you think this will impact? How this will impact the future of the CPL and the competitive scene? Currently, we're talking as well about the about the finals that we would like to work out with for Wargaming, as every single year Wargaming is going to the Tank Fest in Bowington. So we already know they've got like in-game, in-house client that allow the crossplay between Xbox and PS4 in-house. I'm talking about the in-house game. So we're talking about the both scenes of Xbox and PS4 to inherit the CPL format for next season and sort out the finance with Wargaming on that kind of tank fest, because this is something that is approachable and possible to work out for one winning team from PS4 to meet with the one winning team from Xbox on a finals on a run within an in-house client. In kind of tank fest, which is absolutely not able to achieve within the old and not working one trick pony and trade-off format with 7v7. So what do you think? What kind of impact that will have if we will add that? Because every single pro game that you are watching, every single esports competitive game you're watching, they are when you're using different kind of characters with different abilities. In our case, these are different tanks with different strong and weak points. They keep up that stuff about the banning. So if we will add that, and if we will add the format of free maps, how this is going to affect the league?
I think it's a good idea to make it more interesting. The teams will have to adapt, very quickly to to those bans. So you need to have definitely a few scenarios ready in case your nation gets banned. So yeah, just you know, will promote better teams after all. Who can actually instead of spending hours in the training room and planning, they can actually take what they're given, and make something good out of it.
We're also discussing, guys.
Yeah, I think it's
We
going
got
to
three
make
of
it
you. I
a
got
lot
three of
more
you, but
interesting.
I will stop you because it's still about the topic, about the subject. I got three of you here. We're talking about with these adjustments. Should we adjust the tier? What are you guys thinking about it?
Adjust the tier in a way of
Because there was like our viewers were talking. Maybe we should for the next season change the tier for tier 10. This was from the
mhm.
viewers. It's not from
Oh,
like.
I'm
So I'm asking
I'm all
you,
for
where
it.
you're paying. You know how much cost 1 round, you're paying 2 rounds. If we adjust the game for like a best of 3, because this is like a most common format, so we suppose in like the top teams, top 8 teams are playing like a top 8 top tier league. They're playing best of 3 that gives you 6 rounds. So if we will adjust, should we, or even if we should adjust the top tier from 8 to higher or lower, because this is gonna greatly increase the cost. So what do you think about it? What's your point of view, guys? This is the most important. This is important thing, because that you are paying the cost in that room for that ammo and all them equipment.
I think the
Oh,
tier 10 would be great, but adding that with all the other rule changes could really mix things up. It could really make it hard on the players. I mean, it would only be the most dedicated people that would be able to run it at that point.
I think Tier 10 is a great idea. Tier 10 is the most balanced. At Tier 10, you're going to have, at Tier 10, mediums become even more viable than they are at Tier 8. Their specific countries become even more playable. I mean, I think Tier 10 is a good idea. I know that it'll cost more. I know that it would be difficult, but at the same time, I think personally, from a competitive standpoint, it's one of the more competitive tiers because you have tanks such as the 430U, the Object 140, even the machine. Now that it's out, you have a lot of different options that would present themselves so that it actually open up a lot more for the competitive teams. Yes, more expensive, but if the player wants to play competitively and if they want to be in the tournament, then they would find a way to grind the silver that they would need for the match.
It's very true, but you do need to have multiples. I mean, more than just 1 or 2 at that point, because there is going to be the banned nations. So if the player only has a few, I mean, it does create those issues, which, I think all of, I know your team, my team, and everybody we're talking to here, we all have, plenty of tier 10s, but I don't think that, I mean, I guess I can't speak for everybody. I don't know that all of the other teams have a large selection of tier 10s, especially once they start getting banned per game,
I think of the teams that are currently in CPL, the current teams. I know for a fact I've seen Yojin numerous times in numerous different tier 10s. I mean, a lot of us have it. And I mean, maybe, like you've done in the past, Drac, with the different divisions, maybe the top division is tier 10. I mean, that would be one way, but if I ever see Yojin in his machine, I will be very, very frightened because I've seen him. He and I have played matches together on the same team where I've seen him pull 7, 8, 9,000 damage in the machine. I mean, there are numerous tanks that you can open up at that point. So you lose the IS-3 and the Defender reliance because at Tier 10, the Soviet heavies aren't as dominant as what they are at Tier 8.
It's a very valid point.
So do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what the guy said. Honestly, I don't really understand that argument about silver cost. I guess it's really so easy to make silver in World of Tanks, in premium tanks. Everyone gets free premium tanks tier 8. It's really not an issue. So, in my opinion, I mean, right now I personally have been about 20 million silver on my account, and never ever I was short on it, So I don't
yeah,
know.
if they want to play, they will find a way to grind the silver. I mean,
absolutely.
There's not really like Yojin said, there's not really. I don't find the silver argument to be valid because all you have to do is play for one day and you can probably grind enough silver to last you for the entire match. Most of the players in this CPL are playing every day of the week. If you're playing every day of the week and you're losing silver on a regular basis, then there's something wrong.
Yeah,
He's
you
probably
might not
playing
want
in
to continue
CPL,
into
you
that
know.
CPL, right?
Now, I will say for us, because we practice, I mean, we practiced several times this week. I mean, it hurts, but I mean, with
But it
3
is
weeks
easily made
off,
up.
we can grind it. Yeah, you can grind it very easily. I've never accepted the silver argument as a reason not to play competitively.
So good to hear your point of view for that, and definitely that's the important thing, because that's like three teams that are up for tier 10, and this is gonna leave us only with five other teams that will be able to play. But for the next season, we're gonna keep only top eight teams that are most organized, the best, and we're gonna fight for with work with Wargaming to fight for the better prizes, to make sure that the top tier, that top eight teams that are fighting 5v5 are working for the best possible prize pool, which still is currently is the best, and hopefully there will be much more better for the next season even. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me. It was good to have you on. Before we
Thank you,
close up
Drake.
the live stream, just tell our viewers where they can find you.
As with last week, you can find me personally on Twitter or on Twitch using my gamertag AlphaSeth85. Also, my team name is on Twitter. All of my players are on Twitter with their gamer tags. That's going to be the easiest way to find us. My guys try to tweet out as much as they can. I definitely am as active as I can be as well.
Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter at Sergeant Don Wardaddy. We also have a webpage. It's TNT Battle Team. You can find us on Facebook. We have we have a Facebook page. It's World of Tanks, the Real Console page. So we're all over.
Well, we on the other hand, as a new team, we don't really have. We were really behind in that area, so but you can find us always on the NA server, you know,
Yeah, just
most of the time.
just look for Yoshin's Bike, Pure, and the other guys. Yeah,
Right, right. We're
hopefully they
always
will
there.
catch with other teams as well. So just before we finish, do you plan anything about catching them organized teams like TNT, Leonie? I don't know if you've seen that, but Grom and PR are going strong with social media stuff as well. BWP is working on them as well. Do you think? Do you plan to keep on the team for the following seasons, and do you plan to build up the proper social media for the team to get in to that esports scene more?
We have to, definitely wait to the end of the season, see how the guys feel about, being on a team and continuing and also putting in time in it, into the games, training and whatnot. So that's to be determined yet.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, again
Hopefully,
for joining me.
Mhm.
It was great to have you on. Have a good weekend then, and see you next week.
Likewise. See you next time, guys.
Have a great weekend,
Have a
guys.
good one. Bye.
See you, Jack. Thank you for